Welcome back, everyone. It's Right Klick, your one-stop podcast for everything thought-provoking, fun conversations.
Looking for trouble.
The uncomfortable ones.
We talk on.
We did for you.
100.
We know they agree for anybody.
This year.
What exactly in this context? What exactly is not comfortable for a lot of people? And they will say they are emotionally imbalanced because you said something. You used to say, I beg.
They always come from the bad side.
Which one is the back? Hey.
Now what for you?
Hello, bros. What is that supposed to mean? You know where I always come from. I'm a straightforward. Hello, sir. No, I say the truth as it is. I know.
Not come from the back.
I came straight on. I said people these days, when they find convenience for everything. I ignored my mouth. Hello. Oyizar, don't enter this photo. I catch you.
I did not say.
I tell you, I said, we are friends. We are friends.
Oh yes, we are.
We are friends. You know, you just came in, all right? Because the main person that was my enemy before, I think it might be my friend in this conversation. Yes, we got our specialist, our clinical psychologist, aka our shrink. Yes, he's a shrink. Aren't you a shrink?
Well, I'll accept that.
I accept you.
Are you a shrink or are you not a shrink?
That's clinical psychology now, auntie.
I know. I'm just saying.
I'm looking for your trouble.
See, we need to actually check if she is okay. Can you get on the diagnosis? Can you diagnose this man?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to fall into that trap because
why now? Please don't. Honest.
You just don't give diagnosis.
Okay, please wait.
Anyhow.
You're honest. Okay. It's too expensive.
Observe a patient, right?
Okay, observatory notes. Drop an observatory note as regards
form of what we call clinical assessment to do that.
So I have to enter hospital to collect. So that you collect blood or I'll be under observation.
But he's just a fun-loving person. A typical extrovert and stuff like that.
You see?
A typical extrovert.
Yes, I can be extroverted and I can also be introverted for the Netflix and chill.
Based on the moment.
No time. No, I can be you know 50 Cent said if you be something if you be an introvert, I'll be introvert. If you be an extrovert, he said if you be a nympho, I'll be a nympho. That's it. If you be an introvert, you want to Netflix and shit, I'm a movie and shit.
That particular topic, if you want to go into that place today, I will give you a lecture.
No, let's not do that. No. You see this man, this is our shrink. I like this guy because this guy is multifaceted. He can sell Bobby to a monkey.
It is his job after all.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Our listeners who did not get a chance to listen to you in our previous episode, you can also, introduce yourself.
So my name is Oyizar. I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm a trained clinical psychologist. So I'm also a consultant. So I work with various hospitals in areas of health and both mental health, basically. So that is what I do.
That is the one thing that we need to talk about. But today's conversation on Right Klick is around our health, especially the youth. Recently, we've seen an increase in the number or in the amount of people who come out on social media to seek for help, considering the fact that their health is failing. And also, oftentimes, most illnesses, cancer, liver failure, a bunch of other diseases as well. High blood pressure. Yes. We're seeing that in what do you mean small children?
Diabetes. Let's not forget diabetes.
How old are you? These were small children. Anyway, so we
see the first corridor.
We see these illnesses that we used to term in the days of when our parents were the adults and we were the children, that we used to term old people illnesses. Yes. We're now seeing them more prevalent in the youngins. There was a lady whose video on, again, social media is a place where we get to see most people come out to cry out for help.
Yep.
Liver failure, kidney failure, looking for money for transplants, looking for money for surgery. We have cancer of the abdomen, cancer of this. I have personal people, close people in my life, young people who've had to also undergo certain sort of surgery to get out, certain form of cancers. And you start to wonder, how did we get to this point? Why are the youngins falling victims of these illnesses that we used to term old people illness?
the thing is, there is this concentration on the causes of illness. For example, a person with hypertension will maybe have, or diabetes, like she said, maybe has high cholesterol within the body. Somebody that has liver failure, has maybe I don't want to be going into technical terms now, maybe sepsis or stuff like that. Then they'll look at the cause. What could be the cause of this kidney failure or liver something? Because so now that's where different. That is where I'm going. That when we're talking about health is not something that is strictly physical. There are associated factors to health. Now, those associated factors could now be linked to both the environment, like our social lifestyle and our personal lifestyle. So it's about the lifestyle of the individual and also the environment where you find yourself. So that is why it is quite common to find maybe a particular group of people with some certain kind of illness that it's common among them. I hope you get. Then another thing is our gene, the fact that we come from certain parents, do you understand, that have had maybe some kind of illness before.
Like
also, that's one of the factors. But basically, they were talking about the composition of the gene. Like
hereditary.
So there's high tendency that when it's within the line of the family, that person is also at risk of coming down with that illness. But the thing is that now when you are now seeing the increase in youths, is basically associated with some particular lifestyle, some particular factors that are psychological that people don't usually think about when they are talking about health.
Knowledge.
So for example, one of the things that people don't usually talk about is stress. And basically, if you look at our society today, you see that there's a lot of increase in stress. In fact, the stressor factors within the environment are very much. I hope you get. So now, these stress factors itself has high tendency of increasing or multiplying the chances of you coming down with an illness. So if you are a person that is highly stressed, or you go through what we call perceived stress, you went through a lot of perceived stress, there's high tendency that your body will also react to that. You understand? And then you have stuff like anxiety and stuff like that setting in, and before you know it, you might have things like that person will be quite prone to hypertension. Now don't forget the fact that this particular individual already has the risk before, because maybe some of the parents also had it. So now there is a stress factor that is now setting in. No, so this stress factor that is setting in now multiplies the chances of that individual coming down with that illness. So there's a lot of increase in these stress factors, lifestyles that actually put individuals at risk of coming down with these illnesses. Then coupled with the fact that sincerely we are becoming
blunt and brutal. The way I saw that, or you can tell me, let me say it.
No, but we are becoming a people that do not really care about health until you are feeling pain. I hope you get. So until maybe you have you cannot stand up from bed, or you try to stand up from your bed in the morning and you discover that hey, something is wrong with me. That is when we actually start caring about our health. I hope you get. But in actual fact, that is not where health should start.
Please tell us.
That is not where health should start. When we are talking about health, your health starts from taking care of your body, taking care of what you eat, taking care of your
what you visually
consumption.
I hope
you get. Because even when we are when we are talking about health, there's this way that people usually focus on physical health alone. Now, health is a spectrum.
Yes, I know.
If you look at it, it's a spectrum. So that is why even the World Health Organization defined it as a state of physical, social, spiritual, and mental well-being. So those 4 things have to be complete. But
in alignment.
Unfortunately, youths are being bombarded with a lot of dangers in those 4 areas.
Okay, so I'm not gonna. I like the way you broke that down. Like, because literally, like you said, physically, there's one part. Spiritually, there's another part. Nutritionally.
Physical. Like,
that's the physical. I mean.
Yes.
Right. Mentally, there's another part. Because yes, God makes a conspiracy theorist now. I know. But I believe that there are low-key wars that are being fought against the minds of the youth, or in order to convert a certain kind of thinking that is very unhealthy. And this unhealthy thinking is also profitable to a number of people that are actually very healthy. You get food. There's a way you are meant to eat. There's some kind of things you're meant to be eating. There's a lot of things that be happening. Okay, in all honesty, there's a lot of things that be happening in the world that we cannot even say. So people tell that the current color of carrots now was not the color of carrot before.
Yes.
And the color of carrot before was purple. Now it's orange.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of things like now wild rice as opposed to the imported rice. The wild rice is our Yamashi rice now. That's the local rice, and that rice is better for you than long grain lati kini. But there's a way they made, because of marketing, they marketed the plastic to you other than the main kini. Not to mention, if you now say starch, starch is not good for you. Some people say so, but some people argue it because everybody eat differently and all that. But now everything you take in whole, spiritually, physically, mentally, contributes to your overall well-being.
Exactly.
You get how well do you rest?
Yes.
How often do you drink water? Do you try to go on walks once in a while? Are you moderate with how you take artificial sugar? Let me call it that, because if you say, some people say it's white, some people say it's brown. How often do you take it? Do you exercise on that? So I think these are. I don't think I'm trying off.
You're right.
So these are all the things. Then the kind of things you take in visually and audioly as well.
Yes.
Also contributes to that. You are listening to somebody just yap a fat lie, all in the name of trying to look cool, and then you want to be, and then you without even trying to research, you believe and just act on it. It's his own contribution, I believe, to the health, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So
you're
now,
right.
How can we help? What are the solutions you feel as regards some of this? You might not have the answers to all those various spectrums.
Yeah.
But what are the various ones that you can point out for people to pick up on?
The solution is not just is not one phase, like you said, is multifaceted. Health cannot be approached using one particular approach. So it has to be a multiple approach. I hope you get. So for example, now one thing I have not been able to point out is that there is also the economic. There is also the economic factor
we see a
of
lot
health.
Of people doing most of the things that's bad for them because they're trying to find a coping mechanism to deal with the harsh economic realities that they found themselves in. Number one, there's food insecurity in the country at the moment.
Yes.
There's a lot of unemployment rates in the country. People are finding it difficult to. Purchasing power has fallen way below what.
But there's some of those people that are suffering that now, their priority will now be that they want to go and drink codeine or promethazine.
The codeine, like she said, is not like. Now there are some people that particular thing you mentioned now becomes a form of coping with the stressors around them. So like you said,
so would you say that's a wrong
so it's a wrong way of trying to solve a problem.
But they do not know better, right?
Exactly.
In this case, I want to believe that they do not know better. Hold on. Or they think that's the only option that they have to turn to.
I'll go back to saying you don't love yourself.
Oh please.
That's
the only option that they have. Sometimes it's not because they don't love themselves. It's because they think they love themselves and they're like, see, let me turn to this.
I tried to drink lean. I'm gonna get heat rash from here.
You are sounding. See,
I'm sounding.
I mean,
I think you're about to say I'm sounding sexy.
Yes, you do have a coconut head. So I mean, you cannot use your reality entirely to judge and determine what. And you have exposure.
I agree.
You know better. You have.
I don't know better. I'm letting you know.
Now, in some cases you might, and you do know better.
Hey guys,
right?
She's toasting me.
And then for some people who find themselves in like situations where they think like they're living the cool life. That's them.
Living the best life.
Yeah, cool.
Yes.
That's me dealing with my problems. So, this is what I know, and that's what I'm going to do. I want to pop pills, don't pop pref, don't pop 642. I don't ask me.
Unfortunately,
5
I feel cool.
I'm sorry, please.
I schooled in Ogun State, please.
Hello, 542.
Why are you calling my name?
Oyizar, that ain't 542.
Huh?
Sorry, that 542, she has something where they clear something. I
don't know what they do for them.
5-4. It be like football strategy.
You know where I'm going, right?
Yeah, I know.
Oftentimes, and then there are people who do not even know, who are dealing with depression.
And unfortunately,
because of the situation that they find themselves.
Yeah.
So when you throw that word out there, you gotta be careful with it.
I'm not just throwing it out there.
No, I'm not saying that throwing that, but when you put that word out there, that part just makes me like, oh man, okay, now I kind of get the message.
So they feel like they don't have any other option. They're just trying to. So I want
painfully.
to say functioning
I don't agree, but
addicts, functioning alcoholic, functioning drug
user.
Because they do all these things and they still go about their day, but you wouldn't know that they're dealing with these things, and that's why they're doing the things that they're doing, and they have no idea that whilst you're doing these things that you think you're using to to take off that load off your brain, you're killing yourself.
Now that's where one of the things that we should really sort out in this kind of society. That is how people seek for help when it comes to health, because in various aspects of health there are channels where you can seek for help and you get appropriate help. But this day, because of maybe sometimes it could be related to culture, maybe the belief of some certain kind of people, it affects the way they will now seek for help whenever they have problems with any areas of this health.
Let's not also forget the fact that there's a shame that's associated to asking for help. And the minute you go to ask for help, they shame you into falling back.
Can I add to what you're saying? And that thing kind of attaches a whole lot to the male, to men. Like, if a man cries too much, he's weak, that kind of thing. My God. Well, that's, I would like to say, and also, you see that self-diagnosing is another thing in that I would like to think, if I'm wrong, please correct me. I think it's also attached into that part. Like, instead of me going out to go and get a blood test or to go and get checked up properly, let me just self-diagnose and just stay in my house. Come out where I'm weak. I think might be a contributory factor to that as well. Like, there's a stereotyping or there's like a weakness allocated to seeking help. On every ramification, even if the economy is affecting
it could be one of the factors anyway, but eventually you discover that if you speak with different kind of people, a lot of people actually know the right thing to do, but there is always a barrier that is keeping them from doing what they need to do, that thing that they need to do. So that is why you need to actually identify that barrier and tackle that barrier. So for some people, it could be the fact that there is maybe a stigma associated with asking for help, but if you ask for help from the right channel, that stigma will be removed.
While we wrap up this conversation and try and get to what the point that the whole reason why we started and are trying to shed light on this conversation, how do people find the right channel? How do they go, or do they identify that this is where I need to go to get the right kind of help that I need to tackle this certain issue that I have going on?
Please, let me just add this to that. You see, when it says the right kind of help, at the same time, I would like to put that part where I come to you for help and then you now want to exploit me. say I come, I have a blood test. There's nothing wrong with me, but you will declare there's something wrong with me, so that I have to pay you money. Because that's something that happens in the pharmaceutical industry as well. I'm just having a headache, or I'm just having, but then you prescribe
The most expensive drug.
all
And
because you need to.
oftentimes
Because sometimes you walk
That's
into a
what they do,
pharmacy
they just bring the most expensive ones.
so because some pharmacies you can go and tell them your symptoms, and they will tell you, okay, you could try this or you could try that, which also is a flaw because of the whole self-diagnosis thing.
Yes.
But then again, there are some places. I'm not going to say it happens in Nigeria that often because I've not witnessed it that much, but they still want to profit off you. But overseas, they just start telling you, you feel bad, try this Xerox, try this, as if there's and people say that this is the reason why I say people say Western healthcare rather than Nigerian healthcare. Because now you can just go, you can even just go because there's a doctor, I don't like the way I'm feeling, and he's like, you're depressed. And this is overseas. Try Xanax or Adderall. And these are drugs that are worse. Yes, and these are drugs that are sometimes even worse than cocaine and all of the lots. There are a lot of pharmaceuticals that are worse than the conventional or recreational drugs that are declared illegal out there. Yeah. But the only difference is that it's in
it's a prescription.
Exactly. So, like how can we navigate through that? Because I know you were asking a question in the direction of how do we seek the right kind of help. And I said that how do we navigate through these murky waters of people, capitalists, should I put it that way, that are trying to just profit. They will tell you that something is wrong with you, even if nothing is wrong with you, because they just want to sell money. Just because they want to sell.
The painkiller hustlers.
Thank you. Okay, that's okay. So I think you get where I'm.
So the drug is a drug that's supposed to be used by people who have a certain level of pain. But then they started to prescribe them for people who just have a headache, and then they got them hooked up on it.
Now, it is not bad to ask questions from multiple sources.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, it's not really that okay for you to limit your information about health to a particular source. I hope you get, because if you limit it to a particular source, you keep getting the same kind of
opinion.
Get second opinion, third opinion, fourth opinion. I hope you get. Then try and match them together. So if I walk up to Kinzo and I ask a particular question, and he responds to me in a certain manner, and I know that Seyi is also doing the same thing, I can also ask Seyi for your own opinion about it. I hope you get. So he will also give me his own opinion about it. So from there I can now match the two opinions together, and if there's anything Kinzo tells me that I really was not comfortable with, I can ask him, this is what Kinzo told you. Yeah. Do you understand? So from there you even get to know who is the professional, who is not. Yeah. I hope you understand. So that kind of and that is why even if you go to the health sector, there are some kind of assessments that they are not actually done once. I hope you get. So it is actually to make sure that this assessment is objective and not based on one person's opinion only. We have situations whereby you have multiple consultants, like 3, which is actually the ideal, but sometimes the situation of where we find ourselves does not allow that to happen, where you have 3 or multiple consultants working with just one patient. I hope you get. So all those things makes it impossible. So that is why I said that the problem of health itself is not something that you solve using only one approach. You have to there are so many areas that are involved. So if I have multiple sources of getting information, then I'm better protected than an individual that has no choice but to use this particular source of information.
Fantastic. Okay, so that being said, right? Conspiracy theory, pharmaceutical industry. I say that another, industrial military complex that controls what it controls. I'll say if you are around in the course of that, Jack, my brother, I was looking for a job the other day. There's a tackle I have, because that capitalism is a huge problem.
It's a huge problem.
Because now, I think pharmaceuticals is just the West's own solution to medicinal, solutions, especially because of the plague, the Black Plague, and all those kind of things. And then now, here in Africa, Ibile, Alagbo, we've got a lot of it. It's choke. Plus, the one that refined it, and it's more as if it's more sexual drug, or it's one that they say is diabolical evil or whatever. But we have medicinal herbs that actually do work. Because I'm of the school of thought that everything that we need to heal ourselves grows literally from the ground. You don't need to do all those phosphorus, this, that. I think our own healthcare system can work if we are more traditionalist, but we are trying to look to the West more for validation.
Yeah, you are right.
Years ago, so there was cure for AIDS, but because the West did not approve of it, they shut it down.
Now I see why you call yourself a conspiracy theorist.
COVID had its cure here in Nigeria, but nobody took it serious because they go look and say a poisonous bag of herbs and all of that. There were a number of big men that were cured of COVID, whether people like it or not, because they were willing to do the traditional way. And a number of them died because they were still Western, So now I'd say to you, like, why can't our own be? Because, like, now, this might be a little bit of a deviation. Transportation, for example. They made our transportation seem diabolical. Modofe, I go where they go.
Okay.
Think if you do dofe, you enter traffic.
Nebo.
You buy fuel.
Nebo.
See, they've already made our own tradition look diabolical. But I'm just trying to ask these simple questions, right? You wake up at 6:30. Your meeting is 7 o'clock. Oh, well, 15 minutes. You wear a cloth another 40 minutes. The last 1 minute of you move coffee, you land in your seat. Are you buying fuel? Are you in traffic? No. So now, I say yes, I can get it. I get it. But now think about it now. We have plants that can cure cancer. We have, depending on how they emerge, I'll say they are different for different folks because the body varies. Not too many bodies are the same thing. Not too many genotypes are the same. Not too many blood types are the same. So it just might vary according to. So what do you think is problem? Why can we not? Because even like Agbo, I like back in the day, not time when babe they come now. I tell Joko segbe, mama, I mean, so if we can direct these medicinals in a particular direction, which is profitable in the Nigerian market, we have the bitters them. We can. So why, if we can, let me put it this way: if we can allow the production of our herbs in a sexual/alcoholic direction, why can't our herbs be directed more in to the healing factor of, because people are affordable, malaria, typhoid, syphilis, and all the law? Because I believe if someone can actually get African remedy for AIDS, we have all these things too. Yeah. So what do you think is psychological effect? Why do people think
I think the problem with that area is basically what we call research. Okay. Our means of research here in this part of the world is still defective. Okay. In the sense that science is not totally Western.
Oh no, of course.
Science is not totally Western.
Of course.
Now there are some healing techniques that were used by our forefathers that were very effective.
Bloodletting.
Yes, that were very, very effective. But one thing that people don't take note of is that our forefathers also have a way of doing or carrying out their own assessment too.
Yeah.
At
true.
that point in time.
Very true.
But now, because of
gap in
profit making, because of the economic factors associated with it, even the area of, we try to use the word what we call alternative medicine, has now been polarized. Because when it comes to the production of drugs, you just don't use drugs, because if you say these drugs can cure this, are you sure if it cures this, it cannot cause another problem? So for example, he was mentioning the way we tailor our helps towards sexual enhancement and stuff like that. Now, it might be effective in sexual enhancement, but are we sure it is not causing another problem in the body? So that is why they
it's not causing damage.
Would you let the clinical psychologist talk?
I know, but are you?
Would you let him talk?
Sorry. What Molu? I sat down there. I can remember when I was in school in Benin Republic.
So, but I believe if our scientific research is updated and up to date, there are a lot of
R&D.
solutions
we don't have
that
research
we
and
can
development
find among our own culture that we can find in our own particular area of society, even from the things, the plants that we have around that is peculiar to us. But we hope and pray that we get there one day.
Hopefully. It's been an absolute pleasure having a conversation with you today. Thank you for shedding light on this and discussing and touching some of the intricacies that goes, or the the sensitive part of this convo that most people shy away from. We super appreciate your presence, and of course, remember, it's the Right Klick, and we are clicking right.
I'm telling you, so drink your agbo in moderation.
You can get other episodes, past episodes that you missed on all platforms.
Every single one.
Podcast platforms, I beg your pardon. Podcast platforms out there. You can definitely get your hands on it. And in the meantime, we're still right.
But wait, no say our daddy data they want my fun one okay. Our Jomo, no, they know apart from that, our daddy one by yen to take pẹ̀lú mommy one okay. Why you boo like is the right click? Don't have those are the right things. You know what? Click right. Is
something else.
I know the lie. He knows I'm not lying. He knows I'm not lying.
We carry our bags and get out of here.
Alright, cheers, guys. We'll see you on the next one.